Alright, so today we're going to talk about Bayes' theorem. And Bayes' theorem is really great when you're trying to find the probability of something happening given something else. And obviously, those two events are not independent of one another, right? So Bayes' theorem basically states that the probability of A here, given B, is going to be equal to the probability of A and B divided by the probability of B. And since these are not independent, you can't say that the numerator is equal to the probability of A times the probability of B, obviously. And so we can expand the numerator and say that the probability of B given A times the probability of A is going to be equal to the probability of A and B. And then ultimately we divide that by the probability of the given, right? So I know this looks really arbitrary and really weird, but let's just do an example to see if we can figure this out, right? So consider the following. Consider there is a restaurant with 20 people, right? And they just happen to be football fans, right? And of those 20, 7 are Seahawks fans and 13 are Broncos fans. And then of those, four Seahawks fans and 4 Broncos fans are drinking beer, right? So let's write that out quick. All right, so we have a bar, right, of 20 people, 20 football fans. If I spelled football, hopefully I spelled it correctly. Let's see. And we have 7 Seahawks fans, right? So of those 20, 7 Seahawks fans, right? And of which 4 of those are drinking, 4 are drinking, right? And then obviously we have 13 Broncos in the bar, right? And of those 13, 4 are drinking, right? So we're asked to find the probability, or actually, you know what, let me take a step back. A Seahawks fan is randomly selected, right? What is the probability that that fan is drinking beer, right? So so the probability that a fan is drinking beer, given the fact that he's a Seahawks fan, right? So let's write that out. So the probability that a fan is drinking beer, given the fact that he is a Seahawks fan. Seahawks fan, right? So the probability that the fan is drinking beer, given the fact that he's a Seahawks fan. Now we apply our formula, right? So we know that in this case, A is going to be the fact that the fan is drinking beer, and B is going to be the fact that he's a Seahawks fan, right? So B is given, right? We know that this person is a Seahawks fan. We're trying to figure out whether he's drinking beer or not, right? So we know that that this is going to be equal to the probability that of B given A, right? So that in this case, it's going to be the probability that he's a Seahawks fan given the fact that he's drinking beer, right? So if we're given the fact that he's drinking beer, let's only take the fans that are drinking beer, right? These 8, right? So of these 8, what's the probability that if we pick one, that one of them is a Seahawks fan? Well, there's 4 Seahawks fans drinking beer out of a total of 8 drinking beer, right? So that's a probability of 4 over 8, right? Let's rewrite this for a second. Write it this way, right? So the probability of B given A, right? So the probability that he is a Seahawks fan and he's drinking beer is going to be 4 over 8, right? Times the probability of A alone, right? Just A. So what's the probability that the fan that that a fan is drinking beer, right? So we know that there are a total of, well, how many fans are drinking beer, irrelevant of the fact that they're a Seahawks fan or a Broncos fan. Well, there are 8 total, right? 4 plus 4 is 8, divided by the total football fans of 20, so that's going to be 8 over 20, right? Divided by the probability of the given. What's given? Well, we know that the person is a Seahawks fan, right? So what's the probability that if we pick a person, he's going to be a Seahawks fan, regardless of the fact of whether he's drinking or not? Well, we have 7 Seahawks fans out of a total of 20, so that's just going to be 7 divided by 20, right? So obviously we can simplify this, right? So then we have 4 divided by 20 divided by 7 over 20, right? And that's going to be equal to, let's write it down here. That's going to be equal to 4 over 7, right? So the probability that a fan is drinking beer, given the fact that he's a Seahawks fan, is going to be 4 over 7. All right, so hopefully this helped. This was hopefully a simple problem. We'll do some more complicated examples in a future video.